feel like nobody else is here. I'm back for a second video of Artist Manager, and today we're gonna talk about one of my favorite artists, Sunmi. Sunmi is a South Korean singer-songwriter. I think she explores very interesting themes slash aesthetics that are rarely explored in pop or other genres of music. While putting this video together, I found this Tumblr post that puts the aesthetic that Sunmi is exploring into words perfectly. The username of the person is Blauregan. I'm gonna put it on the screen because I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but this is the quote. Sunmi uses a spark of feminine horror in her music videos. There is grotesqueness in polished beauty, and while she does break it rather bluntly with imagery of blood, injury, or contrasting unsettling events with a happy smile, there is also an unsettling vibrancy in her raw stare of simple but demanding presence. I enjoy seeing overly beautiful, near 100% perfection treated as it is at the core. Unnerving. This statement references perfection and its horror. However, I'd also like to delve into the themes of voyeurism and the male gaze that's consciously or subconsciously at the helm of Sunmi's art. Sunmi started as a member of Wonder Girls under JYP Entertainment after a hiatus because she wanted to get an education. Eventually debuted as a solo artist under the same label. After releasing 2 singles as a solo artist under JYP, she left that entertainment company and signed with a new company, Make Us Entertainment. So here is where my interest in her music lies. Her debut as a solo act under a new label with Gashina. I do not know how to pronounce anything properly, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering everything, but we're just gonna go with it. Gashina was an enormous success. But what was more interesting is the fact that she seemed to be a completely new artist. After the release of her 3rd single, Siren, Sunmi gave an interview where she addressed why she left JYP Entertainment and signed with a new label.
머릿속에 제가 뭘 해야 될지 딱 있어서 이제 제가 JYP에서 솔로 이제 24시간이 모자라 보름달 활동을 했잖아요. 어떻게 보면 그때는 조금 수동적인 여성상이라는 느낌이 많이 강했죠. 뭔가 가녀리고 뭔가 소녀 같고 막 이런 느낌들이 강했는데 사실 제가 연애를 할 때도 그렇고 제가 수동적인 스타일은 아니거든요. 그래서 JYP 안에 있을 때도 만약에 내가 또 솔로를 낸다면 강한 여자로 뭔가 해보고 싶다라는 생각이 있었어요. 제 걸 해보고 싶다는 생각이 막연히 들었어요. 내가 생각하는 이것들이 합쳐지면 어떤 그림이 나올까라는 게 더 컸어요.
So Gashina didn't just feel like a true Sunmi to the audience. It actually was a real change where Sunmi was at the wheel of her artistic pursuits. Now, Sunmi said that the first 3 singles, Gashina, Heroine, and Siren, are a trilogy, and they're telling the same story. I'm not going to go into the timeline of the story because I'm more interested in talking about the theme that seems to be the reason for conflict that is being resolved within the storylines, which seems to be the male gaze. More specifically, the male gaze of Sunmi's lover, who has his own idea of who she is, and that idea is based on the perfect feminine image that does not exist. This voyeurism explored visually with Gashina scene where Sunmi is being watched dancing through a window. The setup of the entirety of Heroine video where she is constantly performing on the stage as in a theater. And more obviously in Siren, where the version of Sunmi that is, in my opinion, representative of her subconscious, shows the Sunmi that was dressing up to go out that she is being watched, literally, by us, the audience. Siren also seems to be the most blunt out of the songs, with lyrics like, "The beautiful me of your fantasies doesn't exist. Can't you see that, boy? Don't look at me anymore. The look you're giving me when I'm so cold to you. Your hand that can't let go is slowly getting red." Sunmi likens herself to a siren, stating visually that the man is attracted to what he wants to be attracted to, that he only sees what he wants to see and not what actually is. The name of this song is both implying parallels to sirens, the Greek mythology creatures, and to a sound of a blaring siren that warns the person of danger. In the case of this trilogy, I think that color also has a lot of meaning in terms of representing Sunmi. Blue has more naive and still in love kind of connotations. Like in Heroine, Sunmi wearing blue in the beginning of the video where everything seems to be still fine in the relationship, and wearing blue in the Siren video where the version of her that's wearing blue is more naive and needs to be worn by the other versions of Sunmi. And of course red, which is more cynical, realistic Sunmi from Gashina and Siren as well. No wonder Sunmi stated that the color that represents her best, especially with her latest single Purple Night, is purple. Take red, you take blue. In Noir, a single after the trilogy, Sunmi explores perfection once again, but in a different light. Perfection that's, again, perceived by people, but in this case, it is about social media and the way that we are presenting perfection, or at least a form of perfection online, as well as try to entertain people to get more attention. So this perfection that she's showing is not perfection for the sake of perfection as much as a perfection for the sake of attention, which eventually turns toxic for the person. And it could be seen in Noir video in all of these clips. This one, the English name is Lalalay, but I feel like it just makes not a lot of sense in English, so we're just gonna call it what it is in Korean, which is Lalalay, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Once again, I know that there's a lot of meanings to this word, but in general, this song, in terms of the perceptions and perfection, it again explores perception from a perspective of judgment and rushed conclusions about people, including clips of Sunmi becoming an insect-like, butterfly-esque leader with a bunch of mannequins involved in the process as well. I find that it's really interesting that a lot of people seem to either find her videos cute or very scary or grotesque. It's really interesting to see that people watching different types of videos, different things make them feel unnerved. And it's really interesting that sometimes it's the opposite. Like one person would think that Noir is kind of a cutesy video, and then they think that Lalalay is very disturbing, or other way around. Same with all of the trilogy videos. It's really interesting that people have different opinions on it, but it always evokes an interesting reaction. In all of these cases, perfection seems to reek of danger, of subtle horror, of someone who had enough of being perceived into a caricature and is looking to be seen as more than just a 2D image. A lot like a lot of Barbara Kruger's work from the 70s, like this work that comes to mind. Let me know what you think of Sunmi, and if you haven't checked her out yet, I highly recommend it. There's gonna be all of the videos that I mentioned here are gonna be linked in the description. Share your favorite artists that, if they remind you of Sunmi or something like that, with me, because I'd like to check them out as well. I love that kind of stuff, and I will see you in the next Artist Manager video.